Hello, this is Bilal Siddiqui. Welcome to Khuaab Library Project. This is an analysis. This is my take on the chapter 1 of 10 minutes and 38 seconds by Elif Shafak. So I'm a huge fan of Elif Shafak because I just loved 40 Rules of Love when I read it, and I have been a fan since, even though I have not read her other novels, which are absolutely great, I've heard, and I do plan on reading them. But because we started this library project and this book was decided 10 minutes and 38 seconds, so I gave it a try. So this is my take on not the chapter 1, I would say, because it's not the chapter 1, it's more like a prologue with a very interesting name. It has it is named basically The End. So I remember this from 40 Rules of Love, because in that book the chapter 1 starts with a very similar tone than in this book, because it's almost similar to what happened, but there's quite a lot of contrast in the both of the books, because in that 40 Rules of Love there's a very saintly person who is on the brink of his death when the chapter starts, and in this book is a quite different person who is dying, and that person is just explaining about how things are and how different the views of death have been in her mind and in the normal people, and how it is different than what they have read or they have heard about. And this person does not start with her own story. She does tell something about her parents who have rejected her for her career, I would say. And so she is I think sitting, or she's just lying around in. For those who have read it know about this, so I'm not going to reveal or spoil that. But those who have read it, this is particularly for those people, because the audience of this series is people who have read the chapter 1. So what I really liked about this book, because even though I was used to Shafak's writing, so it was somewhat expected of her when I saw the name The End. But even then, the ability of an author to actually keep you engaged in the book and to keep you hooked up, and even though there's a lot of descriptions going on. So I mentioned in another book series that of Great Expectations chapter 1, if you have seen that video, that there's a lot of detail, but that detail is not hooking you up. But the detail Elif Shafak is giving is quite you can say that it is, even though detail is there, but it is told in a hurried fashion. So when detail is given in a hurried fashion, what happens is that it really keeps you engaged, even though there are details, there are no dialogues going on. So in this prologue, I can say that there is no dialogue going on. There are some places when this woman is trying to speak, but she's not actually uttering words. She's just thinking in her head that she wants to say this. So, and the depiction of how, I won't go into the detail because of how she is describing, even though her death is imminent, that how she is describing the things around her, because I personally feel that maybe this is the author's take on how it should be rather than how it is. So that's just a literary kind of thing. You cannot match it with reality all of the time, because not always does this happen with every single person, because not every single person is in the state of thinking that the sunset is going and the azans are going on and all of these things are happening, and she's describing in so much detail. That's just a literary aspect, so you cannot actually relate reality to that. But what's interesting is how she manages to gauge the age of the children, who are actually teenagers. Or not children, they're teenagers, and they come to gather garbage in the place, and how they're reacting. And I could relate that to my own country, that people at the very earliest of hours of the day, when the dawn breaks, is that those people, those children, those teenagers are actually out there to pluck, or you can say pick garbage up from different garbage cans and garbage dumpsters. And so this was quite relatable to me as a person, because I've seen this thing. Because whenever we go to pray at the morning time, whenever we are coming back from it, or even when I'm going towards the mosque, it's usually the case that there are children picking out trash. So I could relate to that moment, or I could relate to that scene, because that scene is very serene. You can say that scene is very vibrant, because the sun is not fully in its glamour. It's just there, but it has a very dim type of light. And so I could really appreciate the explanation of that scene. But but I did not like appreciate, or maybe I did appreciate because it did kept me hooked, but it was not close to reality how I think that approaches to a person. So that's going to be my take on this prologue. I'm going to be reading for the chapters, and hopefully would be making these videos about what my take is on. So these are not reviews as per se. These are more like analysis. These are more like my opinion. But I won't be saying that this book is good or not at the end of the day, because every book has its own splendor, and it takes the right eye to actually understand the nuances of what an author is putting up. Because when an author is writing a book, they're writing from a certain perspective, and if you are not in that same level of perspective, you're not going to actually enjoy or understand. Of course, a great author is someone who everyone or most of the people can relate to, and Elif Shafak, I think, does a brilliant job of just keeping me hooked and getting the story out there. And I'm really eager to like actually study more and to read more of the book and to share it with you guys. So do share your comments, do share your views, share your opinion, share what you think about the first chapter, or I would say prologue, and did you like it or not. And that's about it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the Khuaab channel if you want to, because we will be posting these videos, and there will be a lot of content on different books, and it will be chapter wise discussions. So it's great if you are a book lover and you are reading these books, or are planning to read these books, or have already read these books. So it would be great for you. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.